Well, things just got very interesting for the future of Pokemon. Today we have good, but also some bad news to talk about. And honestly, this is in general just for all of the future Pokemon games. Generation 10, let me just start by saying this. Winds and Waves. Those are the next Pokemon games coming out. It's obviously, Generation 10. It's huge. I'm sure you've heard of it by now. These have to be insanely good and big games. And by big, I don't even necessarily mean just the map. I more so mean just the content and just like a good game overall. The fans have been disappointed time and time again. I actually want to know from you guys, how have you been feeling about the last couple years of Pokemon? Many people think that like generations 7 through 9 are just not as good as everything prior. A lot of people do think we're going up right now though. Like I definitely think we're going in a good direction overall, but we did just get some brand new news and information that is definitely a little bit concerning. And right before we break down all the news, I would really appreciate if you guys could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications, how we try to goal to 50,000 subs. Any support is greatly appreciated. All right, let's hop right into it. I want to talk about the significance of why we need the future to be good, because like I said, I feel like the reputation of Gamefreak and the Pokemon company has been in shambles recently, mainly just because it's like, where's the quality? A lot of people think the quality is terrible, even though it does seem to be improving. Like let's just say Pokopia, even though it is in works with Koei Tecmo, I think that is a great example of the good side of the future Pokemon. That game, I am still addicted to it. I can still play it all day long if I really wanted to. And now moving on to Generation 10, like I said, this is a huge game. It's a 10th generation of Pokemon, the first double-digit Pokemon game ever. The stakes are huge. It's also going to be the first switch to, big mainline exclusive Pokemon game. Because, Pokopia is a spinoff, even though it is a switch to exclusive. So they actually do have to lock in with Winds and Waves to make it something extremely, extremely special. So the entire point of the good news and the bad news of this video, firstly, I have to talk about the champion stuff because that leads us directly into the future of Pokemon. That will lead us directly into the Winds and Waves, I guess you could say, discussion of if they're going to be good games or bad games. So let's start with the bad news first. So this is actually regarding champions, and it is once again another game with Ilka. As you guys may or may not know, Ilka are the people slash the team responsible for Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, which is just very, very controversial. Some people absolutely hate Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, some people don't mind it. If you have played the Gen 4 remakes, how did you feel about them? Like, did you think they needed some more content, some extra content, maybe add a Battle Evolution gimmick or something like that to the game? But basically, Pokemon Champions released with a ton of issues. So less Pokemon than Pokemon Stadium 2, no 6v6 battles, and basically every single Pokemon game ever made pretty much has 6v6 battles. For the most part, obviously there are like these random spin-off games and stuff that don't, but for a game like this where it's quite literally a battle simulator, you'd think it would have 6v6. Performance issues even on the Switch 2, slow and clunky menus, you need to be online connected to Wi-Fi to even play the game like all the time, tons of competition items have been removed, rental teams becoming completely useless, you have to add all your friends again, and it doesn't actually use your Switch friend list, and there is zero single player content at all. So basically people are pretty upset about this because there's a lot of missing stuff, which I do think eventually they will add, 6v6 battles. I feel like they could even do an update for the performance eventually, fixing the menus, and they could always add single player content as well. Like, not saying they were going to, but they could always add a lot of this stuff. This whole list right here is stuff they could actually fix over time. But moving on to the good news, they have actually fixed a lot of other bugs and glitches. So here's a picture. I won't read everything on here, just waste time or whatever, but basically they have actually fixed a lot of things so far. And the good news is that they are responding quickly. So let's just say Generation 10 has some crazy random performance issues. They probably will get on that immediately. Like, they probably will fix that as soon as possible. And Ilka, I don't know, man. Ilka, they are just not making a good name for themselves. They have been just dropping the ball time and time again. Even with all this being said, I still think Champions is pretty fun. I have been enjoying it. I haven't put that much time into it, maybe like 30-40 minutes into the game, but I think it's pretty fun. I definitely do think it could have more. Like, I definitely do think they need to add some content over time, and they definitely will. But that just goes to show with Generation 10, like, fans will not respond well if Winds and Waves is a bad game and if it's an unfinished game. People will be furious if that game is not pristine because of the fact that so many past Pokemon games have had these big bugs and glitches and missing content and just things that the fans actually want slash need, Opportunity for the comeback is huge. We had Pokopia, we had Fire Red Leaf Green. People are in a pretty happy spot with Pokemon overall, besides all the stuff with Champion. A lot of people are questioning, is Pokemon Champions a flop? Is this a failed game from the start? People think it may be too grindy. You have to grind too much to unlock stuff, or you have to actually pay too much money to unlock certain things. So it could be kind of, pay to win. But if they do fix a lot of this stuff, the trust will be rebuilt, because it's not even the matter of them doing something wrong and just giving us a completely bad game. It's mostly like, okay, what are you guys going to do to fix this? How are you guys going to fix this? And when will they actually fix this? Like Scarlet and Violet, they did the huge, performance update years later, which to be fair is because the Switch 2 released years later. At least they did eventually upgrade it. And Scarlet and Violet was way more enjoyable on the Switch 2 than the Switch 1, at least for me personally, because I definitely had a bunch of glitches and bugs on my first playthrough of the game. Fans are just calling it unfinished, and that's definitely not what we want to see from Winds and Waves, but I don't think we will, because of the fact that Winds and Waves has actually been delayed twice. We have had many leaks, and from the Terror Leak itself, it was supposed to come out in 2026. And actually, believe it or not, originally, Winds and Waves was supposed to be a 2025 release. So the year that Legends ZA came out, we were actually supposed to have Winds and Waves, and then it was pushed to 2026, and then they delayed it again internally, actually relatively recently. We don't know the specific date, but they did actually delay it until 2027, probably to make it a better game. And if they did release that game in 2025 or 2026, we probably would have had a big flop and a failure of a game. And remember, this is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. This entire year, they have said that themselves, so things are not slowing down. Like, they will be adding stuff to this game. I am a little surprised they actually released this game now and not later on, because we don't have anything coming out that's big from Pokemon at the second half of this year of 2026. So that makes me think, like, are they actually going to do a classic collection? Are they really going to give us Generation 3 games, or maybe Gen 2 games brought over like around maybe November/December-ish, the holiday season? They're gonna have to take advantage of that, man. They're gonna have to take advantage of the hype that they have for the big 30th anniversary of Pokemon. I mean, look at this video that they literally posted a couple days ago about just the history of all Pokemon games. I mean, dude, come on. They have been giving us these types of hints forever. So I think that they can recover. I think they're going to recover. And overall, I think we're going in a good direction for Generation 10. But also, that begs the question, are we headed for a disappointing Generation 10 game? I don't know. I personally think we're kind of in between right now. I feel like half of the fan base is ecstatic about the future of Pokemon, and then the other half is very concerned. I get so many comments day in and day out about people saying that they're going to leave the franchise, they're going to stop supporting the games, or not going to buy any more of these games until they fix them. But of course, I also see a ton of comments about people saying they're loving the new games, they're loving Champions, they're loving Legends ZA. So I would like to know what side of the coin you are on. Are you kind of hopeful and looking forward to the future Pokemon? Are you enjoying the current games? Or are you on the other side where you're kind of like at a loss right now? You're not really feeling it too much. Maybe you're going to kind of sit this one out until you actually see Gen 10 more, in the next trailers and stuff, and then maybe when it's actually officially revealed, maybe wait for some reviews, when it's officially released. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories, and if you are real and watching this far in the video, comment down below your favorite fighting type Pokemon of all time. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.